Tonight on Frontline.
After 9/11, the gloves come off.
10 years after September 11th.
What happens after 9/11 is this tremendous ramping up.
The money just came out of Congress. It goes flying out.
Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist Dana Priest investigates the creation of Top Secret America.
It's shrouded in secrecy.
We weren't going to play by the old set of rules.
Go out and get the bad guys. Disrupt them, interrogate them, kill them.
Tonight on Frontline, Top Secret America.
Good morning, America. I'm Charles Gibson.
I'm Diane Sawyer, and it's Tuesday, September 11th, 2001.
Just a few moments ago, something believed to be a plane crashed into the South Tower of the World Trade Center.
Crashed into one of the towers.
Looks almost like a mushroom cloud.
Figure out exactly what happened, but clearly something relatively devastating. Welcome back to Fox News. We have a very tragic alert for you right now.
Something hit the Pentagon on the outside of the fifth floor.
On a day unlike any other in the long course of American history, a terrorist act of war against this country. President freedom has been attacked.
Make no mistake, the United States will hunt down and punish those responsible for these cowardly acts.
President Bush said to us in the basement of the White House on the night of 9/11, "You have everything you need." And that was true, because as soon as we went to the Congress, they said, "Just tell us what you need. Blank check."
The president was determined to spend whatever was necessary and do whatever was necessary to conduct a new kind of war.
The president turned to me and said, in my direction anyhow, he said, "Never let this happen again."
I understood that to mean there was no end to the earth we weren't willing to go to. There was nothing we weren't willing to ask for. There was nobody we wouldn't work with.
The key to the new war would be secrecy.
We'd have to work the dark side, if you will. We were going to spend time in the shadows and in the intelligence world.
In the first few days, the entire blueprint for what would happen over the next decade was written, all in secret. The public didn't know, the media didn't know, and it would take us years to find out.
For 10 years, Pulitzer Prize-winning reporter Dana Priest has reported on hidden military and intelligence operations.
A lot of what needs to be done here will have to be done quietly, without any discussion, using sources and methods that are available to us.
In the beginning, we saw a little bit of this world everywhere, and we were gathering bit by bit.
It's going to be vital for us to use any means at our disposal to achieve our objective.
It really took years to figure out how big it really was, and we were shocked.
For Priest, one of the first hints of the secret war was revealed at this congressional hearing.
Joint inquiry hearing will come to order, please.
When I speak, I think the American people need to look into my face. And I want to look the American people in the eye. My name is Cofer Black.
Cofer Black was in charge of the CIA's counterterrorism efforts.
This is a very highly classified area. All you need to know is that there was a before 9/11 and there was an after 9/11. After 9/11, the gloves come off.
Beyond that, Black refused to divulge any details.
They just wanted no information out. I think the reality is that they wanted to keep it secret because they were doing things that a lot of people would not approve of. And they wanted to do them as long as they could without being found out.
The plan for the secret war began here at the Central Intelligence Agency in the hours right after 9/11.
The reaction in our building and among our leadership was pretty simple: anger and resolve. We were fighting these guys, and they won a huge victory on that day, and it was a huge defeat for us.
This one has finally got past all of our defenses. We had plans that had been, developed in the past that had reached their due date with 9/11.
He was very aggressive. He saw no boundaries to what he could do. At one point, he talks about bringing bin Laden's head on a platter with flies on the eyeballs.
When 9/11 happened, it was Cofer who really took the lead in being the most vocal person, saying, okay, this is a tragedy, but the gloves are off. We're going to go out and we're going to defeat Al-Qaeda. We're going to kill bin Laden, and we're going to win this war.
That night, they prepared an operational plan.
Cofer and his people pulled together what was going to be the next steps as far as going after Al-Qaeda, going after Afghanistan. And they were the ones that actually were able to bring the plans to the table first and present them at the White House.
Where everybody else is looking for their maps on Afghanistan, we were ready to rock, ready to roll. I mean, we were waiting for the bureaucracy to catch up.
Black would personally present the plan to President Bush.
CIA had already done more homework on Al-Qaeda than any other part of the U.S. government. And so what they were able to do then was to put together a proposal and a timeline as far as how the CIA could be the vanguard of the U.S. government move against Al-Qaeda.
The CIA code name for the covert program would become Greystone.
They had a matrix that they offered to the White House that said, these are the countries we need to go into. Go after bin Laden and his terrorist network, kill and capture them and their supporters.
Greystone was a challenge to the old ways of fighting, and the Secretary of Defense Donald Rumsfeld knew it.
So the CIA was very much in front of the military, and that bothered Rumsfeld greatly.
But Rumsfeld's generals had no plans for dealing with Al-Qaeda or Afghanistan.
We had no plan. I mean, to be honest, you have operational plans for different parts of the world. There was none for Afghanistan.
Rumsfeld scrambled, but Cofer Black was way ahead of him. In less than a week, the president initiated Greystone.
We all assemble in the cabinet room, and the president lays down about 12 decisions. Just like that, machine gun fashion.
What did he say?
Well, of course, the thing that stands out in my memory, because it hit me vividly, was he said, I want CIA in there first.
That day, President Bush signed a key document, a finding, authorizing Cofer Black and the CIA to wage a covert international war.
It was a very comprehensive finding. It was generally worded. It was go out and get the bad guys, disrupt them, kill them, interrogate them. This was an overarching authorization of the CIA.
I had never seen a presidential authorization as far-reaching and as aggressive in scope. It was simply extraordinary.
In a post-9/11 world, we weren't going to be so prissy. We were going to work with and do what we needed to do, no matter how difficult or undesirable it was. We were going to do what we needed to do to get the information we needed to protect the American people.
The finding would set the ground rules for the new war on Al-Qaeda.
That sets in motion the largest covert action program since the height of the Cold War, and many people inside the agency will say it's even larger than that.
Now, basically in a nanosecond, we're going from where we were staked to the ground like a junkyard dog, you can report but you can't do anything, to new authorities, new rules of engagement, lots of funding to support this. This is a whole new ballgame.
Within 2 weeks in Afghanistan, the first phase of Greystone began.
My team were 7 officers, including myself and 3 aircrew, flew in on the 26th of September. And when I began to distribute money, $200,000 here, $250,000 for this, I think the Afghans were convinced that we were sincere.
The action was planned to be classic CIA. It's going to be a multi-pronged threat attack where we work with locals, minimize the American footprint.